So hello internet, and welcome to my new channel. It's called No Subwoofer Needed, and it's basically going to be all about speakers that you can use alone without subs, cheap speakers, sub 1000, and it's new and used. I like to do both, and basically I don't know, I thought it would be fun to do a channel with someone who is an audiophile like me. I'm not so obsessive that I would reject fun speakers too. I like Bose 901s, things like that. And I just enjoy audio in general. It's a fun hobby. I like getting new speakers. I like listening to them. I love music. I was a violinist for 13 years until I was 23 and in college. And I got broke enough to sell my violin. Dumb move, but I did grow up playing a lot of music. I grew up I had a lot of friends that played different instruments, from brass to guitar to chorus stuff. I went to music camp every summer. And I've been an audiophile since I was about 13. My first nice pair of speakers where I had a pair of Infinity Interlude 10s. Those are still, my mom actually, I found her a pair of IL40s, the three-way big tower ones without the sub on the side. Those things are still awesome. I found them for 80 bucks on Craigslist, and those things still rock my socks. CMMD. Really good driver technology. It's basically aluminum impregnated with ceramic. So it doesn't ring like aluminum drivers, but they're nice and stiff and light like aluminum drivers. Pretty cool stuff. Today I'm going to be reviewing the KEF Q150 behind me. These were on sale past couple of months. They're back to full price. Full price is $599, so about $600. And when they go on sale, as they did, I think it was March, April, these were $299, free shipping from KEF directly. So I went ahead and picked up this pair in satin black. Excellent looking speaker. I mean, really, I can't really say anything about how this speaker looks, because it looks excellent. I mean, you've got this beautiful Uni-Q driver. It's coaxial driver, so meaning as you can see, the tweeter lives inside the woofer, and there's kind of this cutout where it lives. So you do get a reduced area of the actual woofer here because you have that cutout for the tweeter. These go pretty low. The interesting thing is they actually go lower, about 10 hertz lower than the Q350, which is the larger cabinet and bass driver version of these. So those Q350s go to about 60 hertz, I want to say, and these go down to 50 hertz. So it's kind of like a toothpaste tube where you get 20% extra. That's basically what you get. I would say the very lowest bass tones are a little bit sloppy. It's not muddy or anything. I'm not a huge fan of subs just because they require so much work to get right. I like just plopping a pair of stereo speakers down and being able to listen to them that way. I prefer, if I was going to get a sub, I prefer a pair of tower speakers. So yeah, I won't, on this channel I won't be reviewing a lot of subs. I do live in a small apartment. It is pretty quiet as far as the building materials go. But for my neighbor's sake, I won't get a sub. I just, maybe some floor standers. I've got some Daytons on the way. So those are soon to be reviewed as well. But yeah, these speakers are awesome. I mean, the main thing is you get, with these, you get a coaxial, sort of weird design that really works. It sounds awesome. The imaging is really good. And one of the things you'll notice, when I first started listening to these speakers, I've been listening to them for about a month now, I had them towed in I usually tow direct radiating speakers in, depending on, how they sound, obviously. But most of the speakers I've had that are direct radiating, I'm going to tow in. These, you can't, it actually said worse towed in. These are almost at 0 degrees. They're just pointed just the slightest bit in. But they're almost at 0 degrees, and this is where they sound the best. You get the best imaging, you get a nice center image, lots of good center vocals. The vocals are really, really nice. They're not over exaggerated or anything. They're just kind of there, and you really get crescendos, like vocalists like Adele, where you get these huge long crescendos where she goes all the way up to mezzo forte down to maybe mezzo piano, and these things do that beautifully. The tweeter is very nice. The upper ranges in general are very nice on this speaker. You can tell it's a budget speaker when you get down to the bass. And that is a hard thing to do, especially with a small driver that has a cutout for the tweeter. You know, eventually the bass isn't gonna be brilliant, but it is pretty good. For $300, I had some ELAC B6s, the original ones. Those definitely put a lot of good low end. Those were definitely better on the low end. But as far as like imaging and as far as the clarity and tonal quality go, I actually like these better. The ELAC, and I know a lot of people complain about this too, was that it's paper driver in the little enclosure there. I think they eventually put it in some kind of, or they put it in some kind of waveguide. But the minute you stand up with those ELACs, it was like the tweeter was unplugged. They were highly directional. And I really didn't like that about those speakers. I liked how neutral they were, and they were very neutral, but you had to listen on axis perfectly, or else it sounded like someone unplugged the tweeters. It was a kind of weird thing. They're really, really directional. So I think for $300, those B6s, $300, and these for $300. I haven't heard the new version. I hear those are very good. I've stayed away from them because I think they're pretty ugly, to be perfectly honest. The ELAC, you know, the upper range ones are pretty nice looking, but the lower range still is kind of ugly to me. It looks a little bit of 80s kind of like stereo kind of look, that, you know, with that fake sort of textured veneer that you saw in a lot of like 80s furniture. It's just hideous to me for whatever reason. So I went ahead and ordered these instead of the new version of the ELACs. You know, I will say that, you know, these, like I said, they're different. The coaxial design is different. You know, a lot of great imaging. If you do like bookshelf speakers, you know, you probably would like a sub if you can tune it to the room and put it in the right place, and, you know, have the space to do it. You know, you probably would. I personally would go up to like something like a Q950 if I was going to stay with a KEF. Just because, you know, you get a 4-standing speaker, you don't have to deal with a sub. You know, I'm not sure I like these enough to spend $2,000 on a Q950. I do really like these for $300. But I find a lot of budget speakers, you know, a lot of people kind of, you know, really a lot of people I meet in general don't want to spend, you know, like $300 for them, you know, on a speaker is like, whoa, is it a sound bar? Does it make, you know, does it do all this whiz-bangery and all this stuff? You know, not a lot of people even want to spend $300 on a speaker, which, you know, I've spent much more than that. But, you know, we're audiophiles, and that's kind of what we love to do. You know, but for $300, these are very nice speakers. Whether you're an amateur or whether you're an experienced audiophile, I think you'll like them. The dispersion, you'll notice immediately out of the box, the dispersion is very wide. That's why you can get away with basically not toning them in at all. You get a really nice wide dispersion. I think one thing that kind of, I don't know if it's a mental thing or what, but sometimes I feel like I can hear the cymbal coming from right dead center in the driver, and that kind of ruins a little bit of the placement a little. On some recordings, I can hear that with this speaker. But overall, very nice speaker. I've got some Dayton Mark, what are they? Mark 442Ts, the transmission line towers on the way. So I will be reviewing those once I've had enough time to listen to them. Next review, we will be looking at the smaller version of those Daytons, the MK402, some active bookshelves that I have. I actually got them from Parts Express for about $85 on sale at the beginning of the pandemic. And now I think they're going for about $100. So I will be reviewing those as well. I've spent about a month with those in my bedroom. Had them out here too. My living room is pretty small, but still for those little active guys, they're more of the bedroom speaker. They'll do the whole room. Or like near field, they're very, very nice. I've never been a huge near field guy, but I do really like sitting, you know, a couple feet from those things and just listening. They are pretty good, but that's kind of what's to come. I will review those as well. Thanks for watching, and you know I have literally no subscribers out there, so if you like my content, please like and subscribe. Share it around to your audiophile friends, and I hope you guys comment, and I'll see you next video. See ya.